The first passage that provides us with a standard by which we can measure God's love is the story found in Matthew chapter 13, verse 44. It is Jesus' parable of the treasure hidden in the field. A parable is a simple story about familiar, material, earthly things. The objects in Jesus' parables were familiar to all his hearers. But the purpose of a parable is to reveal unseen, eternal, and spiritual things. The familiar scene and the familiar story then become a mirror reflecting unseen, unfamiliar, spiritual things. Jesus proceeds in the method of a good teacher, moving from the known to the unknown. He starts with items with which his hearers are familiar and leads them on to those that are not familiar. As we read a parable, then, we need to ask ourselves, what are the spiritual things that correspond to the material things in the parable? Let's consider this parable. Then I will give you my interpretation. The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought that field. New International Version. What are the spiritual realities that this simple story reveals to us? I am not suggesting that there are no other interpretations, but according to my view, which is in line with the principles of Scripture, the man who found the treasure is Jesus. The field is the world. This image runs through the 7 parables found in this chapter, and it is stated in Matthew chapter 13, verse 38. What about the treasure? It is God's people in the world. When the man discovered treasure in the field, he did something very wise. He did not immediately tell everybody. In fact, Scripture says he hid it. He knew that if people learned there was treasure in the field, there would be a lot of competition, so he hid the treasure again and decided to purchase the field. Bear in mind that he really did not want the whole field. All he wanted was the treasure. But he was realistic enough to know that in order to get the treasure, he had to pay the price for the entire field. The price of the field for that man was high. It cost him all he had. But he did it with joy because he knew the value of the treasure. Can you picture the surprise of the local residents? Whatever does he want that field for? It's not really good for anything. It has little market value. It's not good for crops. All it produces is thorns and thistles. Why would he pay so much money for a field like that? They did not know, you see, about the treasure.